Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone who's live and everyone who's watching this later on YouTube. Thank you so much for attending. My name is Adrian, and today we're doing a myofascial release class. Today's going to be more of a lower body focus with a little bit of shoulders and neck at the end. So at the start, we're going to start nice and easy this time, a rare occurrence, with our foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, we can use a tennis ball, a lacrosse ball, or whatever you have at home, but a roller would work perfectly. But I'll show you, I'll give you variations. So we're going to get our glutes going nice and easy. Sitting on the roller, we're going to cross one ankle on one knee. From here, we're going to shift forward and backward. Just working back and forth. So whatever you got going on. And if you don't have a roller, that's a-okay. You can just use a lacrosse ball or a hockey ball. It's quite a bit harder with one of these, but just place it under your cheek. Place one ankle on one knee and really work into it. Now, if you can't get into this position, that's a-okay. You can cross your leg halfway or even put ankle to ankle, and that's good enough. Again, work with whatever your flexibility allows. Just going to adjust my speakers for a moment. So here's some feedback. Okay, and hopefully that fixes it. Okay, keep going with the glutes here. We're going to slowly work on just releasing them for the next few minutes. Maybe about 20 more seconds here. Just really working through. Make sure you have whichever glute you're targeting, make sure that leg is elevated. We want to try to get our glute to its maximum length and then massage it and really work into any muscle fibers that are left behind. So you want to have your glute at its maximum length. Yep, excellent adjustment, and then keep going. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch sides. Again, we're just doing a nice, easy warm-up with the glutes before we get into the exciting stuff. We'll toss in a little bit of stretching as well, just to get the sides and the QL and all that good stuff. And one of the benefits of coming live, I know people who are watching this later on YouTube, one of the benefits of live is I do take requests. So if there's anything you ever want to work on, I'm more than happy to adjust. So slowly working back and forth. Maybe 10 more seconds here. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Next, we're going to target the quads. We're going to start just have some nice big muscle groups first before we get into the nitty-gritty stuff. So here, I'm just starting with the roller, turn sideways right above the knees. And then from here, you want to roll down right along the whole length of your quads, using your elbows for leverage of your wrists, working back and forth right along here. Make sure you don't cross your knee joint or you don't cross your pelvic bone. You want to start from just above your knee and then work your way right to your pelvic bone. From here, we do have some options. You can lift your legs. You can turn your legs out 45 degrees like so. Have your toes pointed out 45 degrees. That'll target a little more of your inner quad. Or you can lift your legs, point your toes towards each other, and do a little more of the outer quad. Again, everyone's different, but those are your options. Feel free to experiment. Notice if your inner thighs or if your outer quads are a little worse or a little easier. Everyone's different. Find what works for you. Think slow, deep breaths. Slow, deep breath. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Here we're going to go for the inner thighs. So we're going to take our roller. I'm going to show you standing, but you'll be doing this lying face down. So here with your knee up 45 degrees, I want you to really open up your hips as much as you can. We're going to take the roller, place it on the inner thigh. We're going to go right from our pelvis, right to the side of our knee. So here, we're going to go into a bit of a half plank position. Our knee is up, like so. We want to make sure we have a nice 90-degree angle between our hip. We're going to keep our hips squared down to the floor. We're going to roll from side to side, going right to the edge of our groin and right back to the side of the knee. Now it's tempting to try to cushion your ankle and bring that ankle into your body. Actually, your ankle in front of your knee as much as you can. Keep your hips square. Bring the roller right to your pelvic bone, right to the edge there, and right back to the side of the knee. Now, if you want to hold it in a particular spot, that's fine. You can press in and hold it and stick to a particular area, or just roll back and forth. Some people are worse right beside the knees, some people are worse right by the pelvis and the groin. For me personally, I'm worse right by the pelvis and groin. But of course, everyone's tight in different areas, so feel free to stick to an area that works for you. In this position, again, you want to be in a bit of a half plank. So you're going to be on your elbows and on your toe, and keep your hips square towards the floor. Good. We're going to breathe through your stomach the whole time. Think slow, deep breaths. Good. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and switching sides. So we're going to target the inner thighs. For those who just came, we're going to try to keep our thigh at 90 degrees. Put the roll on the inside of the thigh. Roll right from your groin right to the side of the knee. We're going to be in about a half plank position. So straight from the other side. I'm on my elbows, I'm on my toe, my hips are up. And I roll right from my groin right to the side of the knee. We're trying to target our inner thighs. If you want to stick to just, right beside your pelvis or go right to the edge of your knee, again, everyone's different, everyone's tight in different areas. Find what works for you. Avoid tucking the ankle in. Try to have your ankle in front of your knee. And try to keep that knee up at a nice high angle so that your thigh and your torso are at 90 degrees. We'll be here for about 15, 20 more seconds. Really taking our time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly easing off. Excellent. So now that we've kind of done some broad areas, we're going to get a little more specific. We're going to try to target right where our thighs come into our hips and a little bit of our ITB. So with the roller, we're going to still be face down, but this time I want you to landmark a little bit. So we're going to find what's called our ASIS, or just the bony parts of the front of our hips. So if you're having trouble finding those, find your belly button, go to the side, and feel almost like a little crest right at the edge of your hips. So you're gonna take the roller, we're gonna place maybe an inch or an inch and a half just below that. If you're still having trouble, try to put your hands, kind of cut your hands into your hips and bend forward. So right around that crease area where you bend forward, we're gonna place the roller just on one side right there. We're gonna angle our hips 45 degrees. So instead of being square to the floor, the angle our hips 45 degrees, we're gonna target right in that hip flexor area. So you try to relax your bottom leg. It's maybe pretty excruciating for some, but our goal is to target right where if you know your anatomy, where our quads come in and right where our sartorius comes in as well. And a little bit of your tensor fasciae lata. If none of those words make sense, that's okay. We're just targeting right around our hip flexors. You want your hips at 45 degrees, and we're gonna try to really work, it's a small area, it's maybe 2-3 inches of movement. You want to be just below that hip bone that we palpated. We're slowly going to work through maybe 10 more seconds here before we switch sides. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and easing off. Now the other side. So here, make sure you're just below that hip bone that you palpated earlier. We're going to keep the bottom leg relaxed, and we're going to try to really work through that whole 2-3 inches of movement. It's above our thigh, but below our hip bone. We want our hips at about 45 degrees. And if you know your anatomy, we're kind of targeting our tensor fasciae lata, a little bit of our sartorius, a little bit of our upper quad. If none of those words make sense, that's okay. We're targeting just a bit of our hip flexors here, what we can target from the outside. Maybe 10 more seconds here, 10, 9. And 3, 2, and 1. Easing off. All right. Whew. Now, since we did a little bit of the front hip flexion, now we're going to do a little bit of our glute med action. We're going to do a bit of I call it the clockwork movements or clockwork release, where we're going to palpate again. This time we're going to use a cross ball or hockey ball. We're going to find that hip bone once more that we used. We're going to go maybe an inch or 2 inches down and down towards the floor, then 2 inches towards our bum. We're going to feel for a little side squishy area. If you know your anatomy, we're going to target our glute med right away. If you don't know your anatomy, that's okay. Again, find that bony part of your hip in the front. Go 2 inches down towards the floor, then 2 inches down towards your feet. You're going to find that little squishy area. Place the ball right there, and then lay on top of that with your legs straight. Now, it's going to be pretty nasty. If you can, try to lay with your legs straight. If you find this too painful or too excruciating, you can ease off by having one leg just be up and not bear the weight on both legs. We're going to slowly just let that sit and breathe and work right into our glute med with our legs straight. We're going to hang out here for about 15 more seconds. Then we're slowly going to work our leg up. If you're having trouble, feel free to post something in the chat. We're targeting our glute med here. If you make funny faces during this, it's entirely normal. This is not an easy one. Go 5 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then from here, we're going to work our leg up about 45 degrees. So we're going to bring the leg up. And again, this may make it better. This may make it worse for you. Everyone's different. But now we're going to focus on targeting our glute med with our legs at 45 degrees. If you're not sure what 45 degrees means, just from being from a perfectly straight plank to just a bit of a diagonal. Whatever works for you. About 10 more seconds here. Three, 2, 1. Now try to make a full 90-degree angle if you can. Make a nice L shape with your body. So here I'm stacking my feet, but you don't have to. You can just bring the bottom leg up. Try to have both legs extended and just slowly work on breathing through here. Again, try to have both feet extended, make a nice L shape with your body. If this is too much, you can bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair just to ease off the tension, or just simply have one leg down. Whatever works for you. Focusing on a deep breath. We're going to hold it here for about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Easing off. Again, that was pretty tough on the glute med. We're going to switch sides. So you're going to palpate once more. Do a quick time check here. How are you doing? We got lots of time. Perfect. So here, finding that hip bone, going about 2 inches down towards the floor, then 2 inches towards your bum. We're going to place the ball right in that soft, squishy area beside our glutes. And we're going to lay on our side and just hang out here for about 20, 30 seconds. And notice if one glute is a lot worse than the other. For a lot of people, their glute meds tend to be pretty rough. We sit a lot. We tend to do a lot of things sitting, whether it's TV, Netflix. Even working on our laptops, whatever, it tends to get tight. So we're just going to be here for about 10 more seconds. And we're slowly going to work our legs up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring your legs to about 45 degrees. If you can keep them stacked, great. If you can't, that's okay. You can ease off by putting one leg up and lessening the tension. But if you can stack them, have your feet at 45. Just work through whatever you got going on. Focus on slow, deep breaths. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Here, going to full 90 if we can. Nice L shape with our whole body. If you need to, you can bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair. That's A-okay. Try to have your legs straight. Just really focus on digging the last bit of the glute med. About 10 more seconds here. 10, 9, focusing on slow, deep breaths. And 3, 2, 1, easing off. Excellent. Now here, we're going to use our peanut if you have one. If you don't have one, we can just use a single ball, but a peanut is ideally best. Here, we're going to place the peanut or the ball on our low back. We're going to try to space it so it's right around our L4, L3. If you're not sure where that is, make sure your spine is right in between the roller here. And we're just going to bring that right behind our low back. And we're very gently going to either bring one leg in and release, or if you want, you can slowly bring in both. Hug your knees into your chest and slowly release back down. Now, if you don't have a peanut roller, that's okay. You can do this one leg at a time. So if you only have the one, place it maybe just above one glute and slowly work one knee back and forth. So for the peanut, we're going to try to place it on our low back and slowly work back and forth. We're trying to release our low back muscles. So for me, I'm curling into a ball, but you don't have to. You can just do one leg at a time and alternate, or do both, whatever works for you. Again, the goal here is to listen to our bodies and really focus on release. So for me, I'm doing both, but you don't have to. You can do whatever works for you. Maybe about 10 more seconds here. 10, 9, 8. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And we're here. Now we're going to do a bit of a mid-thoracic release. So we're going to take this peanut, we're going to place it like it was in low back. We're going to place it in our mid-back. Here, I want it right between your shoulder blades, right about here. Make sure your spine is directly in the middle. And hopefully you can see, yeah, you can see that. So right in the middle here, and then we're going to lie face up on it. And I want the peanut on both sides of your back. I need to move up a little bit. There we go. So your head is going to be on the mat, your shoulders are on the mat, and the peanut's going to be right in the middle, straddling both sides of your spine. From here, we do a little bit of a slow, deep release. Our hands are going to be extended. We're going to take a deep breath in as we raise our arms above our head. So take a deep breath in. Big breath and reach. And then as you exhale, imagine pressing your core into the floor, squeeze hard, and bring your arms back to center. Now, if you find this pretty intense, you can ease off, but we're going to try to work our way through it. So deep breath in, reach, extend above your head, and as you exhale, bring your core back into the floor. Squeeze, bring your core into the floor. Deep breath in, reach towards the floor, reach with your arms. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your arms in front of you, squeeze your core into the floor this time. Press. About 2 more breaths here. Deep breath in. Reach above the head, reach. Big inhale. And as you exhale, press into the floor, squeeze, press into your core. And one last one here. Deep breath in. Reaching above, reach. Deep breath in. And then exhale. Squeeze through your core, squeeze, press into the floor. 3, 2, 1. And release. Ease off of that shoulder, ease off of that middle of your back. Whew, that's a tough one. All right, hopefully you're breathing a little easier. Last one here for the neck and shoulders. We're going to take our lacrosse ball or tennis ball, or you can use a peanut again, that's fine. We're going to do a little bit of rotating the cuff. So from here, I'm actually going to show you this from the top down. But here, I want your elbow out at 90 degrees. I want the ball underneath your shoulder like so. You're going to bring your elbow to the floor. And here, very slowly, we're going to rotate up and down like this. We're going to keep the ball behind our shoulder. We're going to rotate towards the floor in both directions. The key part here is trying to keep our elbow down the whole time and slowly work through. Maybe about 10, 15 more seconds here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Easing off, other side. And then elbow down towards the floor. And slowly rotating in both directions. Notice if one side's a lot more restricted than the other. It's good to notice if there's any extra tension. And just slowly working through, really working through any kind of tension right along the shoulder. About 10 more seconds here, just slowly rotating through and working through any kind of tension in our shoulder. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we do an upper trap release. These might have gone especially tight when shoveling snow, using all those shoulder bracing muscles. So from here, lying face up, we're going to place the ball just underneath our shoulder, just underneath behind our upper trap. If you're not sure where that is, you can landmark by finding your collarbone and reaching behind your collarbone, grabbing a chunk of side muscle and neck. We're going to place the ball just underneath that chunk of muscle above your collarbone. Then whichever side the ball is on, we're slowly going to just bring that arm up and down, making gentle waves. Think like gentle, easy waves. Like you're waving to the queen or someone very important. Just nice, easy, gentle waves. And from here, we can experiment. We can slowly kind of crest our arms side to side. You can make gentle swaying motions. Here we can even draw circles or spirals. You can make them a little smaller, a little bigger. Again, whatever works for you. Imagine your hand is like a paintbrush. It is drawing big circles, half moons, spirals, whatever works for you. You can even work in figure eights. Doesn't really matter. Just focus on whatever feels the best for you. So it feels really good to have your arm extended out, diagonally. Keep it there. If it feels good to have it below or it feels good to have it above, keep it there. Again, work with whatever your body tells you feels good. So we're just slowly releasing through your upper trap. We're going to be here for maybe 30, 35 more seconds. Just really taking our time. Again, draw whatever shapes, circles. You can spell your name. Whatever works. And 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. Make sure you landmark by finding your collarbone first. We're going to take the ball, place it right behind that collarbone, find that upper trap muscle, and slowly working back and forth. Slowly working back and forth. want to experiment, you can, of course, wave your arms side to side, or, you know, draw circles, half circles, whatever works for you. We're going to be here for at least 45 seconds. If you want to hold it in a particular spot and let it just sink in, that's fine too. Just don't force any movement. Really focus on keeping it slow and in control. About 20 more seconds here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one's going to be just a nice tension relief for the neck. Here, definitely grab a peanut if you have one. If not, you can just still use a single ball and place it kind of right behind an ear. And so if you have a single ball, you're going to place it almost behind the ear, a little bit towards your neck. You're going to gently kind of nod up and down against it. If you have a peanut, we're going to place it right behind our neck. Make sure it's nestled right just below our skull. We can slowly nod our head up and down and release. And if you happen to have a yoga block nearby, that's even better. We're going to use that yoga block. Place the peanut roller right on top of it to get a little extra leverage. And then this one helps us release our neck the most. So if you have a yoga block, definitely use it. And we're slowly just going to work our way up and down. Just think slow, deep breath. You'll be here for about 30 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here I was going to end off with just a little bit of a stretch. So I am going to, oh, sorry. Perfect. Okay. So here we're just going to slowly reach one side over, go a little bit of a QL side stretch. So here, sit cross-legged or sit whatever is comfortable. Going to reach over and really adjust. So here we're going to try to see if we can drop our hip down, lift our head up and over to really get a nice stretch across the side, across the QL. Again, we're actively trying to push our hip down towards the floor and lift our chest and our arm up and above the head. About 10 more seconds here, 10. And 3, 2, 1, other side. So reaching up and over. We're trying to actively push this hip towards the floor and draw our chest and ribs up and lean over. About 10 more seconds here, 10, 9, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing through. Okay, thank you everyone for coming, and thank you everyone who watches later on YouTube. I really appreciate it and hope everyone has an excellent day.